A very good evening. You're joining Prime TV News with me, Vibhuda Vijay Bandara. First, let's look at today's headlines. A cabinet meeting to resolve salary issue of public servants. The President meets police officers. Postal voting turnout in Alpitia exceeded 80%. 4 female elephants killed in Habarana. Saudi Crown Prince says Khashoggi murder happened under his watch. A special cabinet meeting was scheduled for 6 p.m. today at the Presidential Secretariat. The meeting is aimed to discuss about the salary anomalies of the government sector. President Maithripala Sirisena held discussions with senior police officers at the Presidential Secretariat today. The meeting held under the initiative of the President to address the long-standing problems of the police department and to establish a better quality police service. The President convened the monthly meeting and reviewed the progress of the decisions taken at the last meeting. Discussions were also made on allocation of priority for officers' health screening programs, recruiting doctors immediately to address the shortage of doctors at police hospitals, and removing salary and grading anomalies of Sri Lanka Police Executive Grade officers. Progress of a program to curb extortion and the use of mobile phones in prisons were also discussed. Attention was also drawn to the threat of drowning in the sea around tourist hotels located in the close proximity of sea. Acting IGP C.D. Wickramaratne and Senior DIG, DIG and senior officials of Police Department were also present on this occasion. Presidential Commission to probe fraud and corruption in state institutes during the period from January 15, 2015 to December 31, 2018 presented its final report to President Maithripala Sirisena. The Commission was tasked with examining complaints and allegations made against persons who had held or continue to hold political office and those who have been or continue to be public servants and officers of statutory bodies regarding acts of corruption, fraud, criminal breach of trust, criminal misappropriation of property, cheating, and abuse or misuse of power or authority, state resources and privileges, which offences and acts of wrongdoing had occurred during the said period and resulted in serious loss or damage to state assets and revenue. The Commission was headed by the retired Judge of the Supreme Court, Upali Aberatne, while retired Judge of the High Court, Sarojini Kusala Weerawardena, retired Auditor General Pasdunkorale Arachige Pemathilaka, retired Ministry Secretary Lalit R. De Silva, and retired Deputy Inspector General M.K.D. Vijay Amarasinghe serving as members. President Sirisena appointed this commission on January 17, 2019. Postal voting for the Alpitia Pradesh Sabha was held in a very peaceful manner today. The returning officer stated that the voter turnout was around 80%. Postal voting for the Alpitia Pradesh Sabha commenced at 9 a.m. today at 269 centres to elect 28 members to the Pradesh Sabha. 1,542 candidates had applied for the postal voting and 1,192 were eligible. Those who could not cast their votes today were allowed to vote on the 4th of next month. Meanwhile, today's postal voting marked the highest turnout recorded from the Alpitia Divisional Secretariat. Manager Operations of the Election Monitoring Centre, Hashani Chitrangani, said that no incident of election violence were reported. United National Party's presidential candidate, Minister Sajith Premadasa, says that a special program will be launched to create habitat committees and will be used them to improve villagers in the journey of national development.
මගේ දේශපාලනය තුළ කාත් එක්කවත් අවබෝධතා ගිවිසුම් පුරුන්දු පත්‍රිකා මන් ළඟ නැහැ.
The UNP Working Committee yesterday appointed Sajith Premadasa as the UNP's presidential candidate. Subsequently, the parliamentary group of the United National Front also endorsed the decision. Addressing his first media briefing yesterday, presidential candidate Sajith Premadasa stated that he is working towards maximum devolution of power within a unitary country. Meanwhile, presidential candidate Sajith Premadasa, speaking at the meeting of the Kalutara District Community Habitat Committee, said that a close relationship will be built between the people of the country and the head of the nation. He also said that he will be committed to find successful solutions to problems of the people. The Wildlife Department states that the investigations are underway into the death of 4 wild elephants in the Hiriwadunna area in Habarana. The 4 dead elephants were females lived in the Habarana Hiriwadunna Lake Reserve and adjoining Tambikulama Reserve. The animals were found dead at 4 nearby locations. A pregnant elephant is among them. Investigations are being carried out by the Veterinary Surgeons Unit of Giritale. Wildlife officials say that unauthorized cultivators have occupied the migration route of the elephants from Kalawava to Sigiriya and Minneriya areas. Sigiriya Site Security Officer C. Bandaranaike states that elephants are subjected to various harassments as they tread through those unauthorized farms set up in elephant corridors. TNA leader R. Sampanthan has said that the alliance was yet to make a decision on which candidate to support. Following the UNP's announcement yesterday, TNA leader R. Sampanthan has made the comment. R. Sampanthan, giving an interview to The Hindu, has said that the UNP has unanimously chosen its candidate. He highlighted that it is a healthy sign. Sampanthan said that he will give the matter deep consideration after nominations are filed and candidates make known their policy positions, particularly in regard to the national question. The Court of Appeal today dismissed a petition challenging hearing the case against former Minister Basil Rajapaksa before the Colombo High Court Judge Gihan Kulatunga. Basil Rajapaksa has been accused of misappropriating 29 million rupees of the Divinaguma department by printing almanacs during the last presidential campaign. The Court of Appeal decided that no strong ground to transfer the case from Colombo High Court Judge Gihan Kulatunga to another court. In his petition, Basil Rajapaksa has stated that he cannot expect justice from Gihan Kulatunga as he has served as a judge of the Presidential Commission of Inquiry. The Supreme Court will take up the fundamental rights petition filed by Dr. Shafi Sihabdin of Kurunegala Teaching Hospital, who was arrested for allegedly holding undeclared property on the 24th of January. The petitioner states that the charges against him are false and baseless. The Attorney General informed that additional documents pertaining to the petition will be submitted. A case was filed against violation of court orders during a protest organized by students' unions in 2016, demanding the abolition of the Saitam University. Warrants were issued on Venerable Ratkaraway Jinaratanathera, who was not present in court. Another suspect has been arrested in connection with the Avantgarde case, which involved 816 unlicensed firearms and more than 200,000 ammunition, according to the police spokesman's office. The arrested person is a resident of Rajagiriya named Vishwajit Nandana Diyabalanage. He was arrested at the Bandaranaike International Airport, Katunayaka, when he arrived in the country this morning. The Galle Magistrates Court had issued a travel ban against him. The suspect has been handed over to the CID. He is to be produced before the Colombo Magistrates Court. 8 suspects have been arrested in connection with the case and 4 others have been remanded. Sri Lankan scientist Tarindu Dayaratne, who launched a nanotechnology satellite named Ravana-1, arrived in Sri Lanka yesterday. His mother and the current principal of the Pinnavala Central College were present at the Bandaranaike International Airport to welcome him. He said that he is really proud of the nanotechnology satellite that he was able to create. Rata Wenuwen Ekata Sitimu Badulla district program concludes today, marking its 5th day. Over 122,000 people have benefited by Rata Wenuwen Ekata Sitimu Badulla district program, says the Government Information Department. 1,316 programs under the Rata Wenuwen Ekata Sitimu program were already completed by yesterday. In addition, 409 new programs were carried out today. Grama Shakti, Kidney Disease Prevention Program, Smart Sri Lanka Program, Environmental Conservation Initiatives, Drug Prevention Programs and Inform the President are among the programs covered under the Rata Wenuwen Ekata Sitimu Badulla district program. Former President Chandrika Bandaranaike Kumaratunga says some politicians are instigating racism. She noted that Sri Lankans have been living in a country in harmony for many years. The former president stated that crooked politicians carry the burden of damaging long-preserved racial harmony. Mrs. Chandrika Bandaranaike Kumaratunga expressed her ideas attending an equipment donation function at the Tihere Islamic Center for Physically Handicapped. Donations were made in the memoriam of former Prime Minister SWRD Bandaranaike. The island-wide teachers' strike continued today as well. Most schools were disrupted consequently. The strike was launched yesterday based on several demands. Nonetheless, some schools were unaffected. Principal of Natandya Dhammisara National College, Anil Pushpakumara, says the daily school activities were conducted as usual. Sports and other extracurricular activities were also done without any hindrance. Parents complained that bargaining children's education to fulfill narrow political advantages is unacceptable. Parliamentarian Manusha Nanayakara points out that current government has already redeemed promises being given by other political parties for migrant workers. The parliamentarian expressed his opinions addressing a press conference. He highlighted that during the last 4 years, a great deal of advancement in the field of foreign employment was seen. 7 billion rupees was earned from the migrant workers last year alone. Parliamentarian Nanayakara remarked that skilled labour is now exported from Sri Lanka for higher salaries. He also pointed out that a loan system titled Sihina Malika for migrant workers has been launched and a new pension scheme for them is on the offering. With that, we end today's local segment, and now we move on to biz news. Alliance Air, Air India's associate airline, is looking at operating direct flights to both Palali and Batticaloa, making both these regional airports go international. This would be Alliance Air's first international route. An official from Air India Colombo office said that some of the Air India staff members recently visited both the airports to inspect the progress of the airport. Flights are operated mostly to Tier 2 and Tier 3 cities or those which link these cities to metro hubs. Alliance Air has 800 flight departures per week and 114 flight departures per day. Alliance Air will be first looking at operating flights to Palali from Chennai and later would at Batticaloa. With that, we end today's Prime TV News Bulletin. Prime News returns tomorrow, and in the meantime, make www.itnnews.lk your go-to source for the very latest in news at home and overseas. Have a pleasant day. Good night.